Excuse me, sir. You all right? You all right?
Asthma attack.
Really? You need any help?
I need to cough it out is what I needed to do.
Well, it seems like you did it. We're making a documentary about greyhound racing and wheeling.
Yeah?
What do you think about it?
Unfortunately, we can humanize an animal so much that we no longer are treating it humanely. We get rid of every greyhound racetrack in the country. What's going to happen to greyhounds if they no longer have an economic reason for them to exist?
What do you think?
Eventually, they'll probably interbreed, and there won't be a monetary reason to get the healthiest specimens. They only have a short running life, and then they have to be adopted. Fortunately, there's a lot of people that know that greyhounds make really good pets, and they do adopt them, and there's a waiting list for the dogs.
I think what's interesting about dogs too is it's only a modern contemporary thing to have dogs as full-blown pets, like emotional support companions. Every single dog used to have an economic purpose. Even the wiener dog, which I have, we look at it as a cute pet. He just lays down on his side all the time. He was bred to have longer lungs so he could go underground and kill badgers, because in Germany they had a badger problem. And so there was a guy one day that's like, this dog is gonna make me some money.
Terriers were ratters. Terriers were designed to kill rats. And that's why they bark so much. It's a way for them to locate their prey. And greyhounds are being bred to run fast.
Yeah, definitely.
And the people that are breeding them want the healthiest dogs possible, which means that they make sure that there's no interbreeding and there's an economic reason for that breed of dog to be enhanced.
Yeah.
Because what's going to happen to that particular breed of dog if it's no longer economically viable? Before the automobile, we had horses as transportation. When a horse was no longer useful, he was killed and turned into glue. The horses were made into glue. You boil the bones and the hooves and it makes a glue, and a lot of shoes were made with horse glue. That's the way we had a society at one time. It was all organic, biodegradable. Let's do some catchwords, right?
Yeah.
That might make it more palatable to a younger audience. People don't want to kill deer and have hunting of deer, but if you don't hunt deer, they overpopulate and then the species dies. So to totally get rid of racing doesn't make any sense for the greyhounds themselves.
Well, do you think that on the other end, on the human end, do you think gambling addiction is a problem, or do you think that,
I'm a recovering addict myself. Anything can become an addiction if you have an addictive personality, which I do. I don't gamble on the tracks because I could end up becoming addicted to it. I have to know that about myself. But if you get rid of gambling at the racetrack, they're going to gamble. They're just not going to do it in a controlled manner. They're going to gamble on sports, or they're going to gamble on whatever. I mean, people have been gambling since Jesus' time. They threw lots on his clothing.
Really?
They were gambling.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the Romans were gambling over who were going to keep his clothing when he was killed.
What?
Yeah, they've been gambling forever. So you're not getting rid of gambling.
Definitely.
So once we get that established, you're also not going to get rid of addiction until we start teaching people how to deal with pain. Because pain is what causes addiction. It's not dogs. It's not drugs. It certainly doesn't help, but you can be addicted to shopping. And no one is proposing getting rid of shopping.
Right.
So we need to teach people your age and younger how to healthily deal with trauma and pain that doesn't lead to addiction.
What do you think's the best way to do that?
Well, I guess the best way to do that, best way to heal pain is through love. So we need to start teaching kids how to love each other. And I don't mean sexually, I mean
I don't think you do.
as brothers and sisters, truly loving and caring and being empathetic towards each other, not vilifying each other, no longer looking down. The idea that we can increase ourselves by pushing someone down is wrong. The way we increase ourselves is by lifting others up, and then we all rise together.
I think that the biggest barrier for the younger generation right now in having that love is social media and constant distraction.
And that's the addiction they need to go after.
And it's making them antisocial to the point where they're not even used to having human interaction. Some of these kids are in kindergarten during COVID, so 2nd and 3rd grade is when they're finally readjusting, and they're already 8 years old, and their brain development's already stunted. They're on the iPad all day. It's terrible.
Yeah, if you wanted to get rid of addiction and you wanted to be a social justice warrior against greyhounds, I would say you'd be better served going after Facebook and TikTok.
Yeah.
And these algorithms that we know are addictive in nature. It has come out that they are purposely infecting and addicting our youth.
Yeah.
And once an addict, always an addict.
Yeah.
So if you get addicted to Facebook as a kid, the likelihood that somewhere in your life you're going to be strung out on heroin is increased.
Interesting. So if you develop that sort of fast track dopamine thing where you're like, you need constant validation and you're getting it artificially, you're saying that the framework that creates in your mind will make you susceptible to like doing dope later in life?
Yeah. Absolutely, because an addict is an addict. It's the way you feed the addiction that changes.
So how long have you been clean for, if you don't mind me asking?
On which addiction? On cocaine, it's been over 20 years.
Okay.
Cigarettes, I still struggle with.
Okay.
Caffeine, daily.
Oh, man, you can't put caffeine in there, man.
Heck, you can, though. Some people do.
Well, I mean, you haven't done any crack
Nothing
or coke in
illegal.
20 years?
No.
Congratulations.
No.
That's a hard one to beat.
There are better things to do for fun than cocaine.
What are your top 3 things to do for fun?
Sing, number 1. Number 2, teach. Number 3, art. Self-expression, getting into yourself and communicating your truth. You're doing art right now.
That's true.